Hey guys, we have another really good episode of Craft Tea. We have another guest back on. We have Jessica Flynn. Really awesome conversation that we have. And if you guys are interested at all in the Tumblr world, then you're definitely going to want to stick around and see everything that Jessica has to say. So, yeah, see you.
Well, as you can see, we're still having tea.
Welcome back, guys, to Craft Tea. I think we're at episode 19.
I think you're right.
19?
Yes, I think it's 19.
Oh.
Hey, if it's not, then it's 18. I don't know. I'm so bad at this.
It's 19 or 20. I know it's not 18.
Oh, okay, it's definitely not. All right, then it's 19. So anyway, episode 19. We have a guest again. We had a couple weeks off without a guest. Very excited to have another guest. We're going to go back into our run of Craft Expo teachers that we have coming up for Great American Craft Expo. So we have Jessica Flynn joining us today. So figure we'll just start with, like we have in the past. Jessica, please, if you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are.
Yeah, so I'm Jessica Flynn. I am the owner of Flynn Sisters Boutique and Flynn Sisters Supply Shop, full-time content creator, and now full-time vendor.
So something that I guess if you make tumblers and you aren't familiar with Jessica Flynn, I feel like then you probably don't actually make tumblers.
I was gonna say
You've definitely done like probably I would consider the best job of any Tumblr maker at standing apart as a name in the Tumblr making space, and that is a lot of work. We are well aware of that. So, what made you want to start making Tumblrs and then start Flynn Sisters and I guess the YouTube channel? Let's go down that path.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for the kind words. So I started making Tumblrs January of 2018. And what made me want to do it is I've always been a crafter. I've been a crafter since I was a little child. I don't remember a time when I didn't like doing some kind of arts or crafts. And in Christmas of 2017, I saw Cricut's new vinyl cutting machine. Sure. And I've always had the old Cricut with the cartridges and all that stuff because I love paper crafting. And so when I saw that you could cut vinyl with this new machine and all these fancy features, I was obsessed. And I told my husband, I said, I really want that for Christmas. And if you're not going to get it for me, I'll do whatever it takes to get it. And sure enough, he got it for me for Christmas. And while I was waiting for said Cricut, I started going on YouTube and seeing all the different things that you could do with these machines. And so I came across Ashley Lynn Mears' videos on how to make glitter tumblers. And I was obsessed. I watched all her videos start to finish over and over and over again. And I said to myself, like, I could do this, you know? And so I just started doing a lot of research. I consumed like every YouTube video I possibly could. And I got my tax return in January, and I spent all my tax return on getting everything I needed in one day to make tumblers. We put together one of those like carousel, tumbler turners with the rotisserie motor.
Yeah.
And I just never looked back. And I absolutely fell in love with the art of it. And I've been obsessed ever since. And it's kind of just literally consumed my entire life, my career, my future, everything. And I'm so blessed that my path crossed with the Tumblr world in the way that it did.
Absolutely. I feel like you came, like it was the Gypsy Leopard Cup, right? That really went like viral throughout all the groups and everything, right? That was the big one.
So I made that.
Everyone was looking for someone that could teach us cups, and all the cup teachers had turned into suppliers themselves, so they ain't teaching no more. We're all busy, and I think the world was looking for you. Want to teach us cups.
Well, thank you. I mean, I was looking for the world. But, I made that cup. I think it was August of 2019. And I remember the first time I made that cup, I was like, this is kind of hideous. I don't think anyone's going to like this. And I remember sending a picture to my friend and I was like, what do you think about this? She's like, I don't know. And I don't know. I just kept going on with it. I didn't launch my YouTube channel though until, what was it? I think it was January or February of 2020. And that was right before the pandemic. And it was like a lot of divinity in that timing, because then the pandemic really hit in March and people were home and they were wanting to craft and I was there. And excuse me, it just kind of took off from there on the YouTube.
Yeah, I thought, and I hope that this isn't a weird question. I hope I'm not alone here, but I'm not the only one that thought you had a sister, right? You get that a lot, that people thought you had the sister?
Yeah, I get that a lot. So I have two half sisters. We don't craft together. But
I was convinced. I'm like, no, she has a sister. I saw it. I swear I saw it on a video, I think. And then Brian's like, she does not have a sister. I'm like, it's Flynn Sisters Boutique. There's a sister.
No, so Flynn Sisters is about my two daughters. So Jackie and Kirsten, and I used to make bows for them. So when I was trying to come up with a name for my Tumblr business, it kind of just, right, I don't know, came up in my head. I used to work at trade shows for like gift items. And one of the vendors at our trade shows was Ritzy Sisters. And I love that name. So when I was trying to come up with a name for my Tumblr business, I was like, Flynn Sisters sounds really good. But now I get asked a lot if I have a sister. I don't craft with her. But that's where it came from. I do have 3 kids, but Flynn Sisters and Flynn Brother just didn't kind of mesh well. So
Flynn Sisters.
there's that.
Yeah, the brother got the short end of the stick.
He did, and he reminds me of that often.
Poor guy.
I'm sure that you probably didn't expect it to become what it's become in the beginning when you first named it either.
Oh no, absolutely not. I had no idea where we were going to be going with this. No clue.
I think that's pretty cool. I vividly remember the sisters thing, and then I stood corrected. I'm like, oh, I get it. Yup, putting them two together.
Go, you
No,
go.
you can.
Right.
I was gonna say, so what is it like now that, because you're still doing YouTube very much, and you're still very much running a whole entire company. What is it like when the two paths are now crossing?
Yeah, so it's tough. So I've gone down to 1 video a week, and I used to do 2 for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't put as much pressure on myself to get that second video out. And truth be told, like if we have a lot of work going on in the shop, I won't even do a video at all that week. But my focus has always been service centered. So I feel like if you lead with a servant's heart, and my goal is to be like a steward for the community, I want to show up and provide that content. It's important to me, and I never want to lose focus of that, because community first, service first, the business just does itself. So that's something I don't think I'll ever fully get away with. I love making the videos, and I love teaching people things, and I love showing up week after week to serve my community, because, that's what keeps me grounded,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I literally can't agree more. And it's crazy. It definitely gets out of hand sometimes. I mean, there's some days where, we literally don't even sit down. And then there's other days where I do get to sit down and I'm like, what was it that I was waiting for this free day to do so many things. What was the things that I wanted to do?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it gets crazy, but my husband is such a huge supporter. He single-handedly manages this warehouse, single-handedly manages Flynn Sisters Supply Shop, mostly. I still make important decisions, but he does a lot of that. And I have 3 of the best employees like I could ever ask for. And so it leaves me freed up to stay Jessica Flynn, making content, serving the community in that way.
I love that. And it couldn't work out more perfect for you. What did your
Yeah,
husband do
yeah.
before he was your Flynn sister assistant? 'Cause
That's
he's
a great
full-time
question.
with you, and he's been full-time for a while, right?
Yeah. So prior to, I want to say I retired him from his job about 2.5 years ago. So he was a lean practitioner for Boeing. Boeing's really big up here in Washington State. And so this was really like his wheelhouse. Like he loves nothing more than finding like process improvement, lean work. He wants to dial everything in perfectly. And he loves to tell people how they're doing things wrong. So,
Oh, you have one of those too.
yeah. So I was like, this is your wheelhouse. You go ahead and have this. We tried to work together here and it just didn't work out. So I was like, you know what, that could be your thing. I'll do my thing in the studio, and it's worked out really well.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to
That
kill
sounds
him,
like
and
a
the other
really-
time I love him.
It sounds like a really good plan. I think we can stick Sarah in the warehouse, and I'll sit and make content.
This whole thing
Yeah.
would burn to the ground if we swapped. If I was the content creator 100% and Jason was running the warehouse, I mean, some days it'd be perfect, and other days he'd be like, nah, not doing it today. I could see it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Crafting in the warehouse.
Well, I mean, maybe we will. Maybe you'll be the YouTube. You don't mind it.
I don't care about being in front of a camera.
You drew your butterfly today.
I know, I made a butterfly. So...
You made out this step stool because I have to like lift her up to brush her teeth in the mirror. So he made her a little step stool with a butterfly on the ends.
Oh,
That's my next craft
cute.
video, and it looks like a child made it, but I love it.
Sean said the butterfly's terrifying.
Yeah, he's got a white face, and it's kind of scary.
It's a Mothman stool.
But listen, my daughter did not run screaming when she saw it. She saw it and said butterfly. So I think.
Hey, that's all that matters.
I think I did it.
It's from the heart.
I love that. Are you excited for the Great American Craft Expo again? We're really excited to have you back again. We were your first convention that you taught at, right? Last year?
Yes. Yes, that was my first convention. I was super nervous, but what I found was that I am so in my element getting to, meet our community, meet other vendors. And there's something so special that happens when people who have such a like-minded deal going and we have the same passions, when we can all get together. There's just something so special about that. And I really, really enjoyed your event. And you guys did such a great job with organizing everything. Like, I'm so pleased, so excited to come back.
Oh, thank you. It's hard. It's so much work to plan those. I hate it. I mean, I don't hate it, but if I didn't have to do both, the Glitter Guy, YouTube, and the Expo, I'm like...
Yeah, it's a lot planning the event on top of everything else, but
your class was great.
Yeah, it was worth it too. I thought that especially your class, everyone had a great time last year, but I thought that your class seemed to just have like an extra good time with like the group photos and everything, everybody getting together. It just looked like so much fun. So.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to tell that was your first time doing that in person or anything, because I mean, I still get great reviews from it.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. We're excited to come back this year. I've never been to Atlantic City before, so that'll be fun for me. And I love casinos. I'm not a very good gambler, but I love casinos. So we're gonna have a great time. I'm excited.
Cool. That's so you're teaching at all? Are you teaching at other conventions? You don't do TumbleCon, but
no. We'll be at
if anything else is anymore.
Yeah, so we'll be at the Craftacular in September. Yeah, in Las Vegas. Craft Haven is sponsoring that. So we're looking forward to that because Las Vegas is one of my favorite places to vacation.
Another
Another casino, yeah. We have a great time. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. And then that'll probably be, to be completely honest, that probably will be my last show. I think moving forward, we'll show up as guests, maybe as vendors, but it's just, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I can only imagine how much it is on you guys, you know? So.
Uh-huh. That's what we have TumblerCon in 2 weeks to head to. So we're all, I mean, before we even started this call, we were going over more of the logistics of just like getting our display down there, because we're still bouncing between sending a pallet on a truck or driving it down, because it's like, there's not one better option than another. So it's just a lot to process, you know?
This will probably be the last time we go down as a vendor, I think. Like as a 4-booth vendor. I even tell Nikki, I'm like, I love you, but like, I'm dreading it now, setting up. But I know once I get it set up, it's just going to be so much fun. Because like you said, once those people start coming through and you start talking and you're vibing and you're just having a great time, it's Sunday and you're packing up. And you're like, that was great. I want to do it all over again. But I'll go down as like Sarah, lively, just wandering around the hallways, I think. Probably actually wandering.
Yeah, it's a lot. Tumblers are just one of those things that aren't really portable, you know?
Not even a little bit.
No.
Because I don't have a craft space at home anymore. So if I want to craft after hours, I either have to stay at the warehouse, which I don't know why. I just don't stay here by myself. It's weird. I'm like, oh, it's 3 o'clock. Must evacuate. I like take boxes of stuff home, and I'm like, oh, I'll just craft here. I never even take a box out of the car sometimes, or sometimes I do, and it just sits. And I'm like, I wish this was more portable and just be set up somewhere. But we took all the craft stuff to the house.
Yeah.
Maybe if you made a Tumblr studio bus, you know, like an RV, and you converted it into a Tumblr studio, that would be cool.
That's not like a bad idea entirely.
Mobile art studio.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like pimp it out, just make it really fun. That'd be so cool.
Parties and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually not a bad idea. I feel like Jason's gears are turning now.
They are. All I do is try to brainstorm business ideas all day long. I should just literally sit and focus on the business that I already have, but I don't. My brain just wants to start businesses. I literally want to start like 10 businesses a day. That's like all I can think.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're an entrepreneur.
I don't even know.
That's it. Just somebody come and buy my businesses after I make them, because I don't want to run them. I just want to make them. And then, like, you do it.
That's a business in itself, isn't it? That's actually a business that you make businesses and sell them, isn't it? It's got a title, I'm sure.
Big time. Yeah.
Business seller.
Here, we'll add that to my LinkedIn account.
And then they sell it for sometimes.
Oh, that wouldn't be so bad.
What is up, guys? Taylor Duncan with Duncan Custom Airbrushing is back again with your favorite segment, Joke Time. Joke number 1. Why was the artist always drawing pictures of trucks and handing them out to all the pretty ladies? Because he was a pickup artist. Get it? Number 2. What happened? Listen, let's think. Know your color theory here. All right, you ready? What happened when the red ship collided with the blue ship? No lie, you're thinking purple, but that's not it. Red and blue also make maroon. It was marooned. And a lot of you might not get that. It's like stranded, especially on an island or something. I know that wasn't very funny. 3, did you hear about the artist that died? He had too many strokes. Okay, stop. That wasn't funny at all. I'm gonna give you a bonus one just because that one was so terrible. Joke number 4. This is the first time ever we've ever had 4 jokes. What is the most artistic place in a city? A dark alley, because it's super sketchy. Have a good day. Back to the Glow Guy. We'll see you on the next one.
So what got you wanting to sell epoxy?
Well, I wanted to sell my products for a while, my own products for a while. Like, I've been in affiliate marketing with the YouTube for a long time, supported a lot of other businesses, and we kind of saw the writing on the wall with the way that the economy was going. and I couldn't sustain, because ultimately, even though I'm a content creator, my YouTube is a business in and of itself. And we have the mentorship group and stuff. And I started seeing the writing on the wall and thinking, I can either continue to support other people's businesses and, that those commission checks were just going lower and lower and lower as things were kind of changing in our community. And we thought, I got to start selling. It's time I start selling my own stuff. And so I tried to look for products that I felt like I could do a little bit better, because, $1 million idea is just a product that's 10% better than what's already out there. And I knew I could develop an epoxy that was at least 10% better than what was already on the market. And so we really wanted to develop an epoxy that would perform for a tumbler maker's specific needs. I think there's a lot of great epoxy companies out there that do a fantastic job with their products. But as far as like field testing and R&D goes, it's never really been super tumbler focused. And so I set out to do that. We started that idea in February of, February, I think it was over a year ago, and maybe longer than that. I don't know, but it took me a year to ladder test and come up with the Artist Cure formula. And at the same time, we were testing the Fast Cure formula as well. That one just took so much longer because I was not willing to compromise with some of the limitations that you have on raw materials with the Fast Set. Mm-hmm. So we just released the Fast Set last month, but that's really what kind of drove me to do that. And then the rhinestones were, my idea with the rhinestones was that I wanted to be able to shop, discover, and create from a rhinestone vendor in a way that made sense to me as an artist. So when we were picking the stones, when we were looking for our vendors, I had that in mind. Like, if I'm making a rhinestone project, here's how I want to buy those stones. Here's how I want them to look. Here's how I want them to be branded. And I don't currently see a rhinestone vendor on the market that hits all those boxes for me. So I know that would be at least 10% better too from what was already on the market.
I'm obsessed.
So that's kind of what.
Your rhinestones. Obsessed with Flintstones. I'm like, oh,
thank you. Thank you so much.
It up to me and I'm like, that's so fucking, oops. I'm like, that's so flippin' funny. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Potty mouth.
Marketing's everything,
Oops. But anyway, I think it's adorable. I think Flintstones is so funny.
It's almost like I feel
Thank
like
you.
you've gotten flack if you did not go with that name. It's like it's almost too.
Oh yeah,
It was written. It was written ahead of time for you, just waiting.
It happens for a reason.
Yeah, one of my
with the epoxy, you have all the control over that too. If anything ever changes, you don't have to guess. Like, oh well, now my epoxy from my company that I've loved forever is a little bit different. Is it in my head? Did they change a formula? You have no idea because you don't make it. But now you have control over that, so you are very back and forth with your own customers. So there's that trust too.
Yeah. And that was really important for me as well. So like when we were building our business model, it was obviously quality first, but I was thinking about the community and how I could give back to the community. I've been blessed with this huge opportunity and everything that the community has done for me as a creator. And so I really wanted to give back. So it was like, okay, well, I have to be able to have affiliates. I want to have a lot of affiliates that we can support and love on them in the same way that I was supported and loved on from all the vendors that have sponsored me over the years, and just provide like the best customer service, the best support, education, quality, all of that. It was really important for me because I didn't want to just do this like, in a way that was best for me. I wanted to do it in a way that was best for the community.
I'd say it's working. I mean, from an outside perspective, seems to be working out according to plan.
It's going okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did great epoxy. We have it.
Yeah, I even told you what he
Thank you.
was saying about her labels, the different color, the one's leopard and one's flowers, right?
Right. Right.
You can't.
Thank you.
No, yeah, but like
Nice.
any new product in the crafting world by default, like my eyes look at it, especially because like between me and Brian, we design pretty much like all of our labels on anything. So I'm just like interested in seeing what other people do, you know, like as soon as I see it,
Yeah.
and I was just like, that was smart. As soon as I saw the leopard, I was like, it ties in your whole aesthetic with everything that you've been known for. And it's like super clean and it's not distracting. That's like, I don't think people have any clue how difficult it is to design a label for something. Because on a screen,
It is.
something looks
Yeah.
great. But then when you stick
Yeah.
it on that product, it's a totally different label. It's not in, especially if you're talking about like a bottle. So like a glitter
Yeah.
is also in a bottle, you know, or a shaker bottle. So it being flat on your screen does not look the same as when it's on like a curved surface in front of you.
Like tumblers.
Yeah, a tumbler, same thing. But like definitely, I'm sure that you had that when you were coming up with your labels, that you're just looking at it like, this isn't what it looked like on the computer. It's just like, it gets a little frustrating sometimes. Yeah, I mean, we have piles. Whenever we're in label design mode for any product, we have like stacks and stacks of labels that we've, like, you know, attempted, and it was just like you thought you had the winner for sure on the screen, but when it's like out on the product, you're like, no, nope, no.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's, we probably went, I have about 20 or so different bottles sitting at the house, and I'm keeping them too, you know, that have our prototype labels on them and this and that. And, you know, it was really important to me that the product looked as beautifully as it performed, so that when people get it in their craft room, they're proud to have it in their, you know, in their area, and they like looking at it. I think, you know, branding and marketing is so important. It's something I pay really close attention to, and I really like continuity between everything. So for the past 3 years, I've been a little bit obsessive about it. So when I was making these products, I was like, the labels have to be on point.
Yeah.
And I think we did a pretty good job.
I'd say you
I think
nailed
So
it.
thank you.
You did a great job. And that's what,
Thank you.
with the epoxy stuff, it's like interesting too, because until like, and I want to say recently, just because, you know, in the span of like 10 years, I would say is recent, epoxy was mainly for like boats and commercial stuff. So like that label didn't need to look nice. It went in a warehouse,
Right.
it went in like a workshop. Now that the whole like, you know, basically flexing your craft room is a major thing, right? Like that's like a whole,
Yeah.
you can have a whole business centered around having a craft room that you literally don't craft in.
People
right?
do.
Like, yeah, that's
yeah.
like a
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
crazy, right? It's just like you're selling an aesthetic at that point. But
Right.
now you have companies like ours that we think about that. Like, does my product have a place in those pictures? Or is someone going to be
Right.
like, no, that doesn't look good. You know, somebody else that even if my product was the better product, it didn't look as good on the shelf. So that matters now. It really, especially in the epoxy world, that did not matter even a couple years ago.
Yeah, and I think you guys do such a great job with that. Like Glitter Guy marketing is so recognizable. I could see a quarter of it and I know that's you, you know? And so having that brand
Brian.
recognition and that
Brian's
continuity is like,
Brian, just
Well
like you
done.
said, for the past 3 years, you're obsessed with branding. That was Brian for us. It was we handed him
Yeah.
essentially a mess and was like, hey, this is kind of like what I thought our logo should be. This is kind of the font I thought we should use. And he's like, okay, like, no, we're going to use this font always. We're going to use these colors always. And everything's going to have
Literally
a
a color
pattern on it.
code.
Yeah, it's the same.
Dial it in.
Same blue on everything. And yeah, and then now, thanks to him, we have that continuity. Now we're recognizable, like you said, and it's something that I wouldn't even have had the foresight to think of in the time, in the moment then.
No.
Yeah.
Everything
People's
was-
brains work differently. We were strung out on glitter and what the hell to do with all this damn glitter. It's
Yeah.
been a wild ride for sure.
Tumblers, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Who knew?
Who'd have
I'm
thought?
sure you probably get asked the same questions that we've been asked a million times, is just like, because we get just asked like glitter, who would ever thought? Like for you, it's probably like tumblers or YouTube, like who would ever thought? And it's just like, not me,
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just-
in your real life, like mind blown that you literally just make YouTube videos all day for a living? Was that like
Or that
crazy
you started in that?
when you like stopped making tumblers for people? Were people in your real life like, you can't do that? Like, what do you mean?
Oh yeah, I remember one of my mom's friends wanted to order a cup for me, and my mom was like, "No, she's not selling cups anymore. She can't do that." And this woman just totally raked me. She's like, "I don't understand. Why would she not do that? Does she not like money? Why would she refuse business? That's what she does." And a lot of people just don't I don't know, maybe people don't understand. But you get to a certain point as like an artist sometimes where your skill is worth more than your art. And I think that's kind of where I came to when I launched the YouTube channel, was that, okay, well, I can keep making a few bucks per cup and bust my back every week, pumping out 40, 50 cups a month, or I can take that skill and I can teach a large audience how to do the same thing, and in turn get paid maybe a little less, maybe a little more, depending on where I'm at in my career, and do a lot less work around it, and I'm also providing so much more opportunities for other small business owners. And so that was just so much more fulfilling for me as an artist. And I was able to really just do what I want to do. I'm not being told what to do. I do what I want to do,
Sure.
Yes.
A lot less stress too, because like you said, if you were, for the example, you're given 50 cups a month, that's potentially 50 customers that you had to deal with their opinions on the product that you made for them too. And
Right.
now granted, the flip side, you can put one video out and then you got the opinions of infinite people that can come on there, but you can also choose to ignore those opinions as well too. Like I have not read, I was going to say I can't, it would be live. I said I didn't read any of our comments, but I've not read every comment we've ever gotten, But if you were selling the cups to somebody, specifically the customer, if you ignored their feedback on the particular product you sold them, that's like a different story. I feel like you can't ignore feedback on a product you sold versus like ignoring feedback on like a video, when it comes in droves of comments.
Yeah.
Right.
Not unless you're like Walmart.
Because people are not nice.
Some people are not nice, and I do like to think that those people are far and few between. It's just unfortunate that they're louder sometimes than the nicer people. That's what I always try to tell a lot of people, is that there are some mean people out there, but
Well, you could get 100 comments on a video that say this was the best video I've ever watched, and you get one comment that say this was the worst video I ever watched, and you're going to remember that one comment.
yes.
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to remember their name. You're going to remember, because it's going to change your outlook on the rest of the day probably. And those other 100 people though were like a wash. It's like almost
Right.
kind of silly the way our brains work a little bit.
It's happened to me, and then I didn't.
Oh, 100%.
You don't have bullies, or does anyone get upset with Jessica Flynn? Like you've created like a niche where you're kind of like, you've bounced off any of the negativity. You haven't, I don't even know if you've had to deal with that. I don't see any of that. You are good at hiding it if you do.
Yeah. Well, I definitely deal with it quite a bit. But, part of, the thing I love about YouTube the most is the personal growth that's required for you to be successful. And I have had to grow so much as an individual just to be able to show up and do this every day, because I do get those comments. I pay someone now to filter those comments for me so I don't have to look at them.
Yes.
I could remember the first hate comment that I got over 3 years ago. I remember exactly what they said. It's just like what you're saying. It's like it takes 1,000 attaboys to erase the one "you're an idiot," you know? So, but what I've come to the conclusion is like, especially now that I'm more confident, I've come into my own. I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly what I'm doing. I feel good I'm morally aligned with what I'm doing. Is that, you know, like not everybody likes Nike, but Nike is still successful. And if everybody liked me, then I would not be genuine. You know, like if everybody loved who I was through and through, 100% of those people, I would be disingenuous. And the more that I am less afraid to be myself, the more that I show up authentically, the more people don't like me. And I'm totally okay with that, because I got so burnt out early in my career on YouTube trying to be perfect, trying to get everyone to like me. If you didn't like me, I why don't you like me? What's going on? And now it's like, I don't really care, because you know what? I'm going to be successful regardless. And the people who mind don't matter, and the people who matter don't mind, you know?
I love the way you said all of that. I had some problems with that early on also, and literally the mean comments stopped me from making tumblers for 2 whole years. And then even after that, I mean, still they haven't been finished, but now it's for different reasons. Now I'm out of practice, and it's not in my daily routine anymore. And it sucks that I let those people dictate what the hell I was going to do next. Like, what, my tumblers were just fine. You just mind your own business. You just want to be mean today. But I let it go. Right. I regret it.
Right. Well, and like, you know, your very existence is going to make a certain type of person feel a certain type of way, you know? And I think that if I didn't come across any kind of like adversity in my career, then I'm definitely not going in the right direction. You know, success is controversial. Authenticity is controversial. And so you're just, I've come to expect it. And I actually have come to like appreciate that kind of negativity, because I know I'm probably doing something right. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the genuine comment when you said that if everyone loved you, then you wouldn't be genuine, because that just makes so much sense. That means you'd be changing yourself to be however else people are going to perceive you.
Right. Right.
That more often.
100%.
Sitting there, why don't you guys like me? I have grown out of that. That's right. Like, I have also grown a lot, and I forget that I mean, 2018 and 2019, I'd be in Jason's ear all the time, like, look what this person said about me. She said this, and he's like, okay. And I'm like, I have to do something. He's like, you don't have to do anything. I'm like, well, but people are going to believe that that's what is about me. And he's like, no, not everyone's going to believe that. I'm like, you don't understand me.
Well, that's why I said in like the first week that we launched the business, because I knew that everything was going to be very internet tied, you know, like the reason why we were so, and we've said it on past episodes, the reason why we got such a successful launch was because we had a platform to launch our company to, very similar to how you were able to kind of launch your epoxy to the community you built. Sarah built Tumbler Hacks up, and we launched Glitter Guide to Tumbler Hacks, so we had like a very close-knit community that already trusted us to launch a product to. So it was easy for them to be like, oh, okay, I'll give you a shot. And I forget where I was going with that.
I don't know.
I had a whole point, and now I lost it.
We were talking about criticism and when you first launched.
It was just the drama stuff with the online. So I knew that it was all going to be tied to social media by default, because the launch was on social media. And I said to Sarah, literally, no joke, I was like, I'm not going to deal with the girl drama shit with this business. That's why I said, I was like, we are starting a business, and it is... That's it. It's a business. Like, and I know that we have to deal with the internet for this business, but like the drama that comes with the internet has to stay to the fucking wayside. Like I can't do it. I can't. I'm like, I'll explode. So that was. Oh yeah. Of course, the drama came. Like it didn't. Like it. You could guess that it was going to happen, because it's like 1 + 1 = 2. Internet plus I'm sorry to say, females equals a lot of freaking drama. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
We just
happens.
have a whole lot of emotions and opinions and too much access to the internet.
I don't want to say that guys are safe in this either, because guys definitely start a lot of shit on the internet too. But I'm just saying that in the crafting space, it is very female driven. So I just knew that I was jumping into a business that was going to be very female saturated, and I was like, please just keep all the crap at bay as much as we can.
Yeah.
I think we've done pretty well.
I think you guys have done pretty well too.
It wouldn't be the same if he didn't do that, though, because I would have been crying. We would have tanked. It would have been horrible. I'm too emotional, way too emotional.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, so I learned my lesson when we launched this business. I had a lot of meetings with important people and I was in a meeting with some pretty important people, and I had brought up some sort of Tumblr drama stuff. You know, it was a flippant remark about some kind of Tumblr drama. And they kind of all looked at me in that meeting, and they kind of looked away. And I was so embarrassed. Like, they didn't even like respond to my comment or engage in that conversation. And I was mortified. I was absolutely mortified sitting in that meeting. And I said to myself, you know what, Jessica, if you wouldn't bring this up in a meeting with investors, with sponsors, with whoever, you're not talking about it. You're not talking about it publicly. You're not talking about it, like, period. So that really helped me to kind of like tighten up the belt on letting this stuff affect me, because in the grand scheme of things, if the goal is to be successful in business, none of that stuff matters. You know what I mean? Like, none of it does. Mm-hmm. So that really helped me a lot. And then, of course, my husband, he always kind of brings me back down to earth, you know?
Yes, that is one thing I'm very thankful for. He does same sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm the reason we go nuts, though, too. So
I like that you said we.
Yeah, it's definitely. It can be difficult too, because you can feed off of each other sometimes. Like, we'll end up just kind of gaslighting each other in something that could have, if only one of us was stewing on it, it would have maybe fizzled out. Like, I was frustrated by that, whatever. But you go and like vent to your significant other, and you're like, "You're right, they did burn you," and then it's just like everybody gets crazy.
Good time.
I get it.
Owning a business, it's so much fun.
It is, though.
It's great.
I think it's fun most of the time.
It is. It really. I mean, it's interesting. It's definitely does not leave for lack of like interesting things to happen, for sure. My life was definitely, it was simpler, but it was a lot less interesting, I think, before I was a business owner. So.
Oh yeah,
like that you
definitely.
You got anything else?
I mean, I could go down a whole list and keep you here all night, honestly, but do we have anything else we want to put in? What's time?
My watch was dead. I just didn't know what time it was.
Oh.
2:20.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is there any other good topics that we didn't hit on at all?
Choking.
Huh?
The smoke.
Oh.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Relevant for our area.
it is. It's
Do you
relevant.
do you have any of this wildfire smoke near you guys?
Probably no. They
You're
are
up there,
they are
right?
as far away from the smoke as they could possibly be.
Yeah, but you're up.
Yes,
Are
so
they
we
talking about it
have
on
we
the
actually.
news? Are they showing you guys us dying daily over here right now? Because it's not even. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. So summer of 2020, we went through the same thing. And I live over in Bonnie. Well, I used to live in Bonnie Lake, and we were about a mile from the evacuation line. And it was like same thing. Like, you look up in the sky and it was like Mars. Like, it's just all red in the sky. And we get fires from Canada too. And we get almost as much wildfires east of the mountains in Washington as they do in California. So like, sometimes we'll be going on vacation east of the mountains and there's still fires along the freeways. So we deal with that. What you guys are going through is pretty extreme. That, like I said, we only had one summer like that, but it's tough. And what you got to worry about is blackouts. So we had a lot of rolling blackouts when our smoke was that bad, because we were overpowering the electrical grid, because everyone had their ACs up and everything. And
Yep.
We were getting rolling blackouts in the middle of that.
I didn't even think about that, and I can't believe I didn't think about that because you used to be a lineman, and usually all I think about is electricity.
First off, I'm gonna correct you. Used to be is incorrect. I am a lineman, and I will always be a lineman. Second,
My bad.
that's like you used to be a crafter.
Fair.
With the rolling blackouts, like you said, like even over here right now, everyone is rushing to buy an air purifier. So every house that didn't have an air purifier running now also has that running with their AC. So that's so much more taxing the electrical grid
You
that
better
it
go
wasn't
get us a
ready for.
generator.
Yeah.
No, I might go back to doing line work because I make a lot of money.
You hear that, guys? Right before TumblerCon, right before the Great American Craft Expo, right when we got 70 million thing, he's out of here. He's got to
I'm
get back
heading
to
out.
lineman.
Yeah, I'm going out. See ya. Restore power.
You can't pick up and leave me here with this whole mess. Bye, see you. Me and Patty got it. Come back for craft tea every Thursday, please.
Yeah, I'll tell you how it is out there.
I bet you will, sir.
I got nothing else.
We can start winding it down. I mean, we'll have to pack up and everything anyway.
Yeah.
Any good last minute?
No, I would just say,
Anything?
Jess, if you want to just tell everybody where they can find you, where they can shop for your products, where they can find your channel, everything, all that stuff, and then we'll like sign everything out.
Yeah. So if you want to shop our epoxy and rhinestones, you can find us at FlynnSistersSupplyShop.com. We're on YouTube, Flynn Sisters Boutique. Just Google Flynn Sisters Boutique. All of our stuff comes up. We're easy to find.
I was just gonna say the same thing. You guys are not hard to find, and that's for all great reasons. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. But even more so, thank you for being another teacher at the Great American Craft Expo. We are still super excited. Everything's gonna be great. And guys, there's still a few tickets left as of now recording this. If you guys want to take Jessica's class at the Great American Craft Expo, you can at the greatamericancraftexpo.com.
I don't think I've heard the term the Great American Craft Expo said so many times in rapid succession before.
And he wonders why I hate the names. People, they wonder why I hate the name. I'm like, it's a whole mouthful to say. That's why I just say the Expo. Just figure out the Expo. Yeah, but you can't go to gace.com.
Facts.
True.
We could redirect it.
We might have to
Maybe,
if we do it again, but I don't know.
I'm sure one of my competitors is buying that URL right now.
Right now. Well, they have
Well, you know what? I hope they overpay for it and they're stuck with it.
All right, this was awesome, Jess. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you in like 2 months, which is like so soon.
Yes.
It's right around the corner. Hey, listen, thank you guys so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing you all in Atlantic City. You guys have been awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, let's get back to work.
Kettle and never bring the kettle to the pot.
Now, pour the tea.